Live in HD from WVUE TV New Orleans, this is Fox 8 News at 5.
Some local health professionals are reacting to a study showing that benzene levels are up in some people who have been exposed to dispersants and who have been involved in taming the crude. They say that benzene levels can be affected by more than just crude oil. Sabrina Wilson has that.
It's been months since the gusher in the Gulf was capped, but some along the Gulf Coast feel they're just beginning to live the real impact of the oil spill.
In about July, I started getting really bad headaches and internal bleeding.
This 22-year-old from Florida blames his unexplained illness on the sullied waters of the Gulf. And over the weekend, a New Iberia, Louisiana chemist touted findings she says proves high levels of benzene and xylene are being detected in people's blood because of the large amount of crude that flowed into the Gulf and the use of dispersants.
And we have some that are 10 times over the normal background for like benzene, ethylbenzene, and hexane, which correlate back to the BP crude.
But some local medical professionals say, hold on.
Everybody has benzene in their blood.
Dr. James Diaz with LSU School of Public Health says just detecting benzene and xylene in the bloodstream isn't conclusive enough.
Everyone in the developed world today has a certain amount of benzene in their blood and in their urine, as well as a certain amount of xylene, because they're drinking soft drinks and water out of plastic bottles.
He says we're exposed to it in other ways daily.
We know that 50% of benzene in the air, for example, comes from cigarette smokers. But a certain amount also comes from service stations and people just filling their car.
Still, Dr. Diaz doesn't downplay the need to study the long-term impact of the spill and dispersants. He says he's more concerned with the various forms of alcohol in the core exit.
The glycols that the dispersants contain, and some could potentially be deleterious because they are converted to alcohol compounds.
We've had some of our fishermen who have complained of some different ailments that sort of were unconnected or didn't have a real cause.
St. Bernard Parish President Craig Taffarel says what concerns him are the many unknowns.
These men and women stepped up to save their livelihoods, and I hope, and I'm going to be optimistic, but cautiously optimistic, that those individuals who were responsible for assuring the safety of those people working in the oil response really did their homework and really knew what the consequences were.
In the meantime, health professionals like Dr. Diaz say with ongoing monitoring of seafood tissue quality, there's no cause for alarm.
I had Louisiana seafood twice last week.
As much more is to be learned about the impact of the spill. Now, Dr. Diaz says LSU has already begun investigating effects of the spill, and the school will be part of a long-term federal study of the spill and its effects on people here and the fisheries.
Not the last we've heard of the issue.
No, and there's still so many unknowns, John.
All right, thanks, Sabrina.